I hope everybody had a great Mother's Day weekend. But if you drank too much at brunch, you missed a lot. In 4 days, we got about 4 years of action. Trump signed a trade deal with Great Britain, then brokered a ceasefire between India and Pakistan, freed the final American hostage from Hamas, slashed drug prices, and now he's on the way to the Middle East. But China was the big kahuna.
Yesterday, we achieved a total reset with China after productive talks in Geneva. Both sides now agreed to reduce the tariffs imposed after April 2nd to 10% for 90 days as negotiators continue on the larger structural issues.
So we were in a toxic relationship with the Chinese. We got hooked on their cheap junk, and it was making us needy. You never want to be the needy one in a relationship. It's not healthy for you or the other person. So we're letting them down easy. Besant took the Chinese to a secluded Swiss villa overlooking Lake Geneva and locked the door. Scott sweet-talked them for about 14 hours and then convinced them that it was their idea to break up. We can still be friends, but we need some space.
I would say one of the big takeaways from this weekend, the United States will continue a strategic rebalancing in many areas that were exposed as supply chain weaknesses during COVID. The consensus from both delegations this weekend is neither side wants a decoupling.
America is going to take some time and focus on ourselves because the way things were going, we were being taken advantage of.
In January 2020, President Trump produced a template. We had an excellent trade agreement with China, and the Biden administration chose not to enforce it. The Chinese delegation basically told us that once President Biden came into office, they just ignored their obligations.
So China had a 4-year hall pass because our president was in a brain fog. Or did Joe let it slide because Hunter got bribed? The stock market loved the good news. Dow's up over 1,000 points. It's higher now than it was before Liberation Day. Now the panicans understand the art of the deal.
This, to me, is a signal that there is maybe a different kind of President Trump happening. President Trump seems to be looking for less confrontational style. And this may be the beginning of what I regard as being kind of a little more politics as usual, not for Trump.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
We're still keeping 25% tariffs on key industries like steel, aluminum, automobiles, and pharmaceuticals. COVID taught us we can't rely on China during a crisis. Everyone's been beating on us like a piñata and watching the candy fall out. We've been paying more for prescriptions while the rest of the world got them cheap.
Starting today, the United States will no longer subsidize the health care of foreign countries and will no longer tolerate profiteering and price gouging from Big Pharma. What we're doing is equalizing. There's a new word that I came up with, which I think is probably the best word. We're going to equalize, where we're all going to pay the same. We're going to pay what Europe's going to pay. We're going to all pay. Now, it's called most favored nation. We are going to pay the lowest price there is in the world.
Democrats like equity. They should like equalizing. That comes out to about an 80% discount for a lot of drugs, even the ones that make you lose weight.
A friend of mine who's a businessman, very, very, very top guy. Most of you would have heard of him. A highly neurotic, brilliant businessman, seriously overweight, and he takes the fat shot drug. And he called me up and he said, "President, could I ask you a question?" "What?" "I'm in London and I just paid for this damn fat drug I take." I said, "It's not working." He said, "I just paid $88, and in New York I pay $1,300. What the hell is going on?"
Big Pharma's not happy. Their lobbyists are fuming. And whatever happened to the politicians they greased?
President Trump was taking money from the pharmaceutical industry, too. I think they gave you $100 million. But he can't be bought, unlike most of the politicians in this country. There has never been a president more willing to stand up to the oligarchs than President Donald Trump.
Trump should put the drug pricing in the big, beautiful bill, force Democrats to vote against cheaper prescriptions. They can run ads against Democrats in the midterms. I cut your taxes and prescription costs. Democrats voted against it. Between cutting trade deals, the White House stopped a nuclear war.
On Saturday, my administration helped broker a full and immediate ceasefire, I think a permanent one, between India and Pakistan, ending a dangerous conflict of two nations with lots of nuclear weapons.
Two major wars kicked off under Joe Biden because he wasn't throwing America's weight around when other countries got frisky. It's a lot safer and cheaper for everyone if we prevent wars instead of funding them later. Trump's working on settling those too. He just freed the last living American hostage from Hamas.
I'm very happy to announce that Idan Alexander, an American citizen who until recently most thought was no longer living, thought was dead, is going to be released in about 2 hours, actually.
The president's on his way to the Middle East, and he's got one thing on his mind. Quote, all three countries have a ton of money. It's really that simple. Trump's looking to come home with over $1 trillion in investments. But it's not just money. Trump wants the Arab countries to put their neighbors in check, the Houthis, Hamas, and Iran. And he wants Saudi Arabia to get along with Israel. We expect a lot of big news out of this trip.
When a president goes on an international trip, the staff in advance secretly arranges what are called deliverables, so that the trip is pre-baked as a success because they have in their pocket some things they know they're going to announce. My understanding is this trip is filled with deliverables. There are more deliverables on this trip than white good and plenty and a box of good and plenty. Although the trip is focused on economics, watch for a potential mega diplomatic deliverable. You heard it here first, I think. Watch. I can't say what it is, but there may be a very big diplomatic deliverable.
This is a make or break year for President Trump. He doesn't get another shot at another this term. Well, never mind. Every peace deal brokered, every investment announced, every trade pact signed creates a sense of destiny, unstoppable momentum that could make his second term the most transformational years of this century. His intentions are good. Better jobs, world peace, less waste. Everyone should be for that. If he succeeds, the country will be much better off. This isn't about left or right. All Americans should root for these victories. And remember, don't be a panican. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.